We need to have a real conversation. It's getting spooky out here. They getting bolder and bolder. And then they pay off some lone wolf to do the knockoff and now we got BLK people and YT people going back and forth and we ain't even the issue. The issue is the small hat. I don't care about this live getting banned. I need people up here to speak their truth. I need some information. Cause it's getting out of hand, it's been out of hand. We letting these devils do what they want to do. We paying their taxes, healthcare, and they still come down here and unalive our American brothers and sisters because they speaking out against terrorism. When you speak out against terrorism, that what happened. Hitler was right. These motherfuckers are too crazy. These are the real antichrist. They're the real antichrist. They're the only country and the only people in America that you can't speak ill of. I can speak ill of every black person in the world. I can speak ill of every white person in the world. I can speak ill of every country except this one country. Except one country. And that's them. Small hat. I know y'all ain't blind. I know y'all ain't blind to it. You just don't want to believe it because they control the media. These small hat mother control the media and they control America. And I'm tired, sick and tired of it. I'm tired of being quiet while they go around massacring our American brothers and sisters. We need to stand up to this bully. We need to stand up to these bullies. I'm tired of these bullies coming into our country, trying to control our speech, telling us what we can and can't do. We sitting around sending money to them. They control our government. They control our president. We don't have a president. He's doing whatever Netanyahu say. Why the fuck you in office if you listening to a bonehead across the sea? They got us going into wars. They knocking off some of our prominent leaders, and we just sit back and blame each other because we don't see the dark hand in the shadows. It's coming to light. It's always some strange straggling motherfucker who woke up one day with an AR-15 to knock off one of our uh guys one of our leaders. They always get some straggle-haired kid off the 23-year-old get up on the roof with AR and knock one of our guys off. They do the same trick, same playbook. I'm sick and tired of it. Fuck them. We need to stand against them in a real way. In a real way. There was no you don't get it, bro. I don't care about what type of gun it was. They are unaliving our leaders. If they go against them, they will get unalived. Candace Owens, you're next. I like what Candace is doing, but we gotta be real. She's next. What's up, Double?
What up?
You think the small hats are out of control?
What are
You know
the
what?
small
Let's just
hats?
say it. Let's just say you think you think these Zionists are out of control. They about to ban my life. Fuck it. You think these Zionists are out of control?
Um, are you inferring that Jewish people are to blame for all these?
I'm inferring the Zionists are to blame for all of this shit.
Why is that?
If you don't, oh my god, why do they name keep popping up every time one of our leaders go down?
Whose name has popped up with Charlie
We
Kirk?
gotta stop acting stupid, bro.
I have no idea what you're talking.
Shut up. If you don't have no idea what the hell I'm talking about, don't come up here talking about why is that? Who is this? What? Why this? Why that? I need some information. I need somebody to come up here and speak. And we ain't talking like TikTok. We talking real on this.
Let's talk
I'm
real.
done with the TikTok.
Let's talk real.
I'm done with the TikTok talk.
Yeah, okay,
Talk
let's talk
real.
real, man. So what'd you do killing that like little Ukrainian girl, man, in that train? What's up with that?
What are you? We're
Why'd you kill
not
that
talking
Ukrainian girl, man?
about a Ukrainian
Why is
girl.
it always you people
You
doing?
still going black and white. You still fighting with the black and white. It's not about black and white no more, nigga. You see who's destroying us. They got us fighting each other. Black and white people kill each other all the time. Stop acting like y'all pissing me off, bro. Y'all
Little
just
hats
still
are little
caught up.
hats are definitely the problem, but they have weaponized a lot of the BLK community.
Yo, man, why can't
They've
you go
been
back to Africa though?
they've been doing
I'm
that
just
for
asking
40
questions,
years.
man. I'm just asking questions. Why can't you go back to Africa?
I can't do it, bro. I can't do it. Because motherfuckers still trying to put black and white against each other. While they over here taking over America. We over here fighting each other saying, it's your fault, it's your fault. The Spider-Man meme. While they over there stealing all the gold.
So I have to ask: do you think that Charlie Kirk is like these other three guys?
Well, he was doing something that they didn't like, so they knocked him off. That's why he's up here.
Well,
But
I mean,
who's
okay, but let's look at this practically. You have JFK, arguably the most popular Democratic president of all time. Abraham Lincoln squashed the Confederacy. Martin Luther King, civil rights leader and
We are
founder,
so
and
brainwashed. We
Charlie Kirk.
still
I
believe
mean,
everything that they're feeding us. We just cannot look at them as the enemy. They're the real enemy. The Jewish mafia is the real enemy. They control our government. They control Donald Trump. Do y'all not see this?
Yes, they do, and yes, they are the true
We
enemy.
need to get these motherfuckers out of our country for real.
no.
Right or wrong?
Lee Harvey Oswald was not Jewish. John Wilkes Booth was not Jewish. James Earl Ray was not Jewish, and this Timothy guy is not Jewish.
Jack
This
Ruby
is
was Jewish.
All right.
this
Let
is
me tell y'all
Jack
something. Let me tell y'all
Rubenstein.
something. Let me tell y'all something. Let me tell y'all something.
who okay.
Let me tell y'all something. These guys just didn't get up one day and be like, I want to knock off JFK. I know the right plan. You think they did that by themselves? Are you stupid?
No,
You think
I'm
this
I'm
airhead just
inferring
woke up
that
one day,
you're
know
you
where
stop
he
actually pretty
posted
lisping?
at?
stupid, dude.
Can you stop lisping? Can you speak normally, please?
Can you speak? Can you stop trying to speak with this intellect? Just talk, please. That's all I'm asking you to do. Talk.
You keep kicking people. How are they supposed to talk, dummy?
Then talk, stupid. Get off of me
Well,
and speak your truth. Hurry up.
I mean, you're trying to compare actual activists and
Talk.
leaders to a podcaster. It's kind of dumb. You're
This
kind of
ain't
stupid.
comparing. See, it's stupid when you think what I'm doing is what you're thinking. That's not what I'm doing. I'm not comparing him to these guys.
Double. I don't think
Rent
he
must
has
be.
the intellect to even process any of this, dude. I mean, first he said that all of them were killed by the Jews, and not a single Jewish person has anything to do with any of the deaths up on there. And then to put Charlie Kirk in the same windows as those other three men.
I can't do it. They're too stupid. They are just too stupid. They still thinking I'm talking about Charlie Kirk and this and that. I'm talking about the Zionists being behind all of these murders. I knew I'm. See, I can't even do a live talking about them. They about to block my live, and I don't give a damn. They gonna have to block me then. And then when I get unblocked, I'm back on their ass. We know what the fuck going on. You can be blind all day because you want to be blind. We know what the fuck going on. They out here killing our people, and we sitting here fighting each other. They out here taking our tax money to kill people over there, and we sitting here fighting each other. They out here controlling our government, and we can't do nothing but sit here and fight with each other. When the fuck we gonna wake up? Venture, what's up?
What's up, man? Yeah, you're right. You just you have to, in order for people to understand what you're saying, like you have to almost serve it to them on a silver platter to get them some sort of understanding, because none of them have done their research to really understand where you're going. Because it is a rabbit hole, but you are correct. Once you go down that rabbit hole, you will find the answers and you will find the truth. I mean, we've been fighting this for a very long time. If you want my personal opinion, I don't think Abraham Lincoln should be on that list. Charlie Kirk is 100% a leader, considering you have millions of people all over the planet right now
You want me to tell you why
mourning
I
his
got?
death.
You want me to tell you why I put all these people in the same rate?
No,
Because it was
I think
because
3 out of 4 is good. I just think
not.
Malcolm X should probably be up there, to
Not.
be
Let
honest.
me tell you why I put these for. Because when they got shot, it was always a lone wolf. I'm tired of these lone wolves. Cause we know it ain't no lone wolf just doing this stuff. They're backed by a group.
Absolutely. No, it's all backed. I mean, if people would just do their research, I mean, a lot of it you can find out a lot if you just research 1913.
Was Hitler
And
right?
Whoa.
Hitler's experience and what he was going after, his
Cause we
idea.
going through the same shit that Hitler and them were
Right.
going through.
Well, Hitler took it under his own wing and thought that he could eliminate, but see, he went wrong with it. That's not what he should have done.
The guy
But
But
the
that
thing
unalived
is,
Kirk.
but the thing is, they told the story. What if we let Hitler tell the story? We let them tell the story of what
exactly.
Hitler was trying to do.
Yeah, there's two sides to
The
every story
same
for sure.
people who bring corn into this state, poison our kids with this hateful music and movies, they do nothing positive that they bring to this land. They
But
brought nothing
when
positive.
you do say the small hats, you got to be very specific on
The
this, because this
Zionists.
is
I'm being
right,
specific. The Zionists.
right.
All these guys were bad guys.
I want
Lincoln was
y'all.
a control freak. JFK was a war hawk. Martin
We
Luther
ain't.
King was a commie.
You don't get it, bro. You
You're
don't
just
get it.
he's just spitting rhetoric. That's all he's doing. But like, he hasn't done real research, because once you do the real research, you will come to the same understanding that a lot of people all over the world have came to.
I'm like, it's coming.
All they have to do is get outside of their own little corners and go look and do some real research and find out the real history. You just got to know which questions to actually ask. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
when the Jews enter hip hop turned into rap.
Exactly. And to be honest, it started before that, because if you listen to the story of how the Sugar Hill Gang got started, it's exactly how the Jews got them in the first. Well, the Zionists got them in the first place, because
We
they
gon'
sent. Have you heard the story of how the Sugar Hill Gang got started?
No, I never heard of that.
Okay, so basically, she had a friend in the music industry. They came to her and said, "Hey, can you get us some rappers?" So she went on the corner where she knew some guys were rapping. I think it was around a pizza spot, and they brought them in, and that's how they created the Sugar Hill Gang. There's more to it than that, but that's essentially how it happened. So once the music industry started into on hip hop, that's why when the 90s, all right, so once, Biggie, Tupac, even you can go into the other generation or genres like Kurt Cobain, things like that. But once you hit like 96, 97, it all turned into nothing but about money. But if you look at the early 90s hip hop, it had a lot more to do with
All right.
fighting the
I
power,
wanna I wanna put a pause on that and let these other two people talk. But before y'all talk, I wanna say if we are tired of our kids being trafficked and murdered on these streets, I don't care about the restrictions. This live gonna get blocked, so we gonna get this shit off until it get blocked, all right? If we tired of this shit, y'all, we gotta really stand up and do something about it. I'm talking physical and mentally. We really have to do something about these animals. They're destroying us.
You're right.
All right, what's up, Precious?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, see, what everything you're saying is 100% correct. And the problem is, like I said, a lot of people, even like Kanye West and everybody
Right.
owe him apology, because everybody's Michael Jackson. Everybody's been trying to leave breadcrumbs to tell the people who is doing everything to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So, and even with the Europeans, I say, because their hate for a certain group of people, they can't turn around and look in their backyard to see the wolf in sheep clothing, because it's the people that's pulling the strings behind the scenes and making like they are the ones that's doing the lynching, and make us think that it's them, the Europeans, the ones that, you know what I mean, and everything. But it's the spider. See, you can knock down parts of the spider web, but if you don't bring the spider and put the spider, which is the Jewish people, on the table and let the world see them for who they are, the puppet master. So this is what's going on. We know that they did 9/11. We know that they did
Right.
Yes.
the marathon
Yes.
Boston. We know that they did John F. Kennedy. We know that they own the banks. They own Hollywood. They own the
This
music
shit
industry.
pissing me off.
They own everything. They have
Everything.
infiltrated our structure. They have infiltrated in the politicians. If you know anything about Apex, they have infiltrated, like 10 people didn't take the money from Apex, but almost 92% of the people are embedded, our senates and all of them. They own everything. And they are playing us all against one another.
Do y'all
You
know
know what I'm
about
saying?
BlackRock?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hold
I mean,
on.
they
So,
own everything.
They
Bro.
they own it all. And at the same time, until we recognize who these people are and bring them to the forefront and put them on this on blast, we can knock down the spider web, but
They
they will
killing
spread
America.
another one.
They killing America. Rough
That's right.
34. Rough and 34. What's up?
So what about, like, look, I agree with like a lot of what you're saying, but what about like all the Jewish people who died on 9/11, or all
We
the
talking
Jewish
about
people?
the Zionists.
Right. Very specific Jewish people, not
Oh,
all
see,
Jewish
see,
people.
see,
You were talking about Hitler was right. He wanted to
We
kill all
talking
Jewish
about these.
people.
We talking about these people who pumping this poison in our kids.
Yeah,
and
but
then
We
and
ain't
let me,
under
talking about
Hitler,
who you
right?
talking about. We ain't
Okay.
talking about who you talking about. We
And
talking
let
Under
me-
about
Hitler,
these.
right? Someone who converted to Christianity, or whose parents converted to Christianity, was raised Christian their whole life, was more Jewish than someone who practiced Judaism their whole
okay.
life but only had one Jewish parent.
All right, let me say this here.
You were saying he was right, and that's like totally
this is-
fucked up and not true.
No, this is where everything is messed up at. First of all, when you study and do real study, and you listen to it, Yahshua, people call him Jesus. He said, "I know thy works in tribulation, and I know thy poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them that say they are Jews, but are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. I would make them of the synagogue of Satan, which do lie, come and worship before thy feet." Now, if you know about when they became a nation in 1948, okay? Now, if they are the children, if they are the Jews, then where is the other 11 tribes at? Okay, where are the other 11 tribes? Because they are not the real people. If you look in the Genesis and you see in the genealogy, you'll see that they descend from Japheth. They are Gentiles. But this is why you can't understand who the wolf in sheep clothing is, because you won't look. If you'll just look back and do the study and do the research, you will find out who
Hold
these
on,
people are.
It's
Okay, that's
right
good
in
and
our
all, but
face right now.
like Royper took out Kirk. It was a Yahtzee took out a fascist.
You say what?
A Yahtzee
Bro.
took out a fascist.
Bro, you're not even
Like,
keeping up
what
with
is
the
he
conversation
talking
right now.
about?
He's not even keeping up with the conversation. He's just here to drop bullshit. But y'all know,
These
don't even
niggas
argue with
took
him.
down our twin towers and we ain't do shit except go to war with somebody else.
You know,
They took our twin towers down. What we
The
gonna do
people-
about that?
The people are afraid, and a lot of people have spoken up. They did Bill Cosby because
even
he
the
tried-
Hasidic Jews are denouncing them right now.
They anybody that speak up, even if you look at what they did to Bill Cosby, you look at what Whitney Houston, all these people, Michael Jackson, because Michael Jackson said, "I did great business and I own half of Sony now." You know what I mean?
Look
If
at
you
Prince alone.
And Prince,
Yeah.
yeah. So you
I mean-
and they all have been telling us. They keep telling us, but they only can give us but so much, because if too much you say, you get knocked off or you get put in jail for a long period of time, and then they destroy your image. And after they destroy your image, then they isolate you.
So
You see what I'm saying?
let me throw something in y'all's ears since y'all have an understanding, and this is my perspective on what I'm thinking. So since in 1913, when they created the Federal Reserve, y'all know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so when they created that Federal Reserve, they also created the IRS that same year. Just so happens that the very next year, they forced all the men to go to work, or all the men to go to war, and then all the women to go to work, so they can get double the income. And then guess who was raising the children at that time? The radio.
That's right.
Okay, so then let's go to World War II, right? When we're having all these same problems, right? Radio, TV, boom, boom, TV's coming out. We're starting to see things, but children are still being raised by the radio and TV. Then what? Then Vietnam. Then Vietnam happens. Why were we even in Vietnam? Oh, we had to get the heroin to invest into our streets so we could continue to separate the husbands from the families. So we were there to raise our children across the board. Once that happened, because they knew that the fathers are the ones that weren't going to put up with their bullshit in the long run. So what they did was they fucked up the father's head so much and put them in all these catastrophic situations of war, like traumatic, right? How are you going to come back and raise a family after, after World War I, World War II, Vietnam, and all these other things, right? And they knew they couldn't create another draft around the 9/11 era, so they had to create something else to force us all to want to go. So if you look at it through the time period, they've done nothing but separate the fathers from the family and then made women feel like they were more in charge of the family structure. But here's the thing. We all know that the mom and the dad are both equally important in a family. You need both to create a nucleus family, right? But what they did was they created so much confusion and then infested our streets with so many drugs. And then guess what? You know why the Civil War started in the first place? Or it's because there was enough people that weren't slaves that said, hey, we need to get these slaves out of here, right? Or we need to stop slavery, right? But we can also look at 1861 when the Civil War actually started. Right, so we got Abraham Lincoln up there, right? And this is why I don't agree with Abraham Lincoln, because what he did, he signed the proclamation or the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863. It was a sales pitch just to get more people to join his side of the war because they were losing at the time. So it wasn't a righteous effort to actually free the slaves. It just so happened that it worked out in his favor. But here's the thing: once they separated all the families, guess who also owns the pharmaceutical companies? Exactly. You know where I'm going with that.
Exactly.
So while they're telling everybody, hey man, your kids, they're a little too rowdy. Let's get them
You're
out.
not the slave masters.
You know what I'm saying? That they've just made us all so comfortable in our own minds, whether it be alcohol to heroin to cocaine to ADHD medicine to the synthetic heroin that they with Oxycontins that they flooded our streets with across America through the late 90s and early 2000s that literally ruined and destroyed my generation. Like, I can't tell you how many friends I had die from that. So it's like they've been ruining us for so long. But unless you were really close to them, you didn't know who exactly was who was the ones, right? We didn't know for sure, even though people were dropping little tidbits here and there. Now we have this social media, and now we're seeing it across the board. And Charlie Kirk, 2 days before he was murdered, he turned them down for $150,000.
That's right.
He said, no, I don't want your money because now they're trying to say Candace Owens has gone off the Richter. No, she knows exactly what the fuck she's talking about.
That's right. That's right.
And she needs to be protected.
And another thing too, like because they own the media, so this is why a lot of indigenous people and say black people are upset because they like, well, Charlie, when he got done like he got done, it got posted everywhere. You know what I'm saying? But they wanted to start a race war. Then the same thing when these two black people got hung, there's no coverage. You know what I'm saying? But it's them, the ones that I call the spider, the Zionists that is controlling it all. They are the ones, like I keep saying, the puppet master. So they want us to go and say, oh, it's the white people. No, it's different sets. You can't say all Gentiles, but you got a certain Gentile that look at Europeans and look at the certain Europeans as cattle. They call them Goyams. They call them Goyim cattle. You know what I'm saying? And it's the Zionists is the ones that is controlling them. And they use them as sheeple for the slaughter. You know what I'm saying? But they can't see these branch of people because they think that they are God's chosen people.
So what's your opinion on all the Jewish people who've been speaking up against Zionism and protesting against Israel? What do you think of them? That's what I'm trying to get at.
Good for them.
Hitler wanted them gone too.
Did you not hear us say that? We even said the Hasidic Jews are denouncing them right now. Everybody's denouncing them. A lot of Jews. Even Jews in Jerusalem are denouncing them right now.
And that's
like it's across the board.
You guys sound like you have a brain in your head. Too many people don't, and they equate all Jews with Zionism like the Nazis did. And if they get their way, all Jews would be gone, and not just Jews too. It starts with the Jews, but you know how the Nazis felt about black people and gypsies and mentally retarded people.
Well, actually, if you look at what was his name, Jesse Owens, when he went to the Olympics in Germany, he said he got one of the best welcomings in Germany that he didn't even get that same type of applause in America where he was from.
Yeah, but also that's because the Olympic Committee gave them orders to treat the black and Jewish athletes properly. They also, all those signs that Germany had banning Jews from places were removed during the Olympics. You can look into that. Like, all that was taken down. The Jews didn't have to wear the yellow star for that period of time. Even the Jewish athletes weren't experiencing anti-Semitism because Germany wanted to present a certain image to the world. Hitler did not shake Jesse Owens' hand. He actually did wave, congratulate him, but he actually walked out in anger over the fact that a black person beat his pure Aryan spectacle or whatever. They were not a fan of black
Then
people.
why did Owens say they treated him better than the Americans treated him in America? Did you ever hear
Because
about
of
that?
the orders the Olympic Committee
It
gave
sounds
one
like
and
two
two.
different stories. Two different fucking stories. Stop with the bullshit,
And also,
bro.
there were no black
Stop with the
people in Nazi
bullshit,
Germany,
bro.
so there weren't
Then-
really any laws
then
against them.
Why did he say they treated us better than if Hitler just wouldn't shake his hand? Why did Hitler treat them better than America treated them? Let's be real, bro.
There were also no black people in Germany at the time, so there was no. They didn't make any laws against.
Hold on. The story that they're telling you kind of don't make any sense when Owens telling us a different story. It's like, okay, they might be lying because Owens was actually there. He actually had his experience there. Are you saying he's a liar?
Right.
No, not at all. I'm not denying he was treated better there, but
Then
one,
shut up!
they didn't have to make no laws against black people. There were no black people in Germany at the time.
Bro, it don't.
Bro, they wouldn't have let him even perform.
All right. You said he wouldn't shake his hand, right? You said he wouldn't even shake his hand.
Yeah.
So why are they treating him with hospitality when he's down there if you won't even shake the man's hand? Does that make any sense?
German civilians, the other German athletes, they weren't discriminating against them.
You're trying to make sense of something that don't make sense, bro.
But also, as I said, the Jewish athletes there weren't facing discrimination.
Owens ain't never said Hitler treated them bad. The media said that. The media told you that, and that's what you run into. That's what you're spewing out your mouth. Owens ain't never said that. Did he or did he not?
He did say that.
Did Owens ever say that Hitler wouldn't shake his hand?
No.
Okay, the media told you that. Shut the fuck up.
But are there any pictures and videos of him shaking his hand?
That
and
don't
not
mean
that little
shit.
photoshopped one.
Why would they show you pictures and videos of him shaking his hand if they just told you he didn't shake his hand? They want you to buy into the story, right?
Okay, but then why
would
were
they show
Jewish
you
athletes
this?
saying they didn't face
Come on,
discrimination
bro.
either?
Come on, bro. Stop.
So I want to talk about this and pictures at that time and how pictures can be formed, right? So Anne Frank, her sister, she was in Auschwitz, and when she saw the pictures of the people being liberated from Auschwitz, she asked them. She was like, "Why are these pictures fake?" They said, "Well, because the army didn't actually have cameras with them at the time." She said, "Because when they were liberated, it was 3 feet of snow." And there was no snow in any of those pictures. So people would make pictures and they'll do all that. Man, like, it's the media. It's literally the media.
They make it up as they go.
Exactly. They make it look the way they needed to. Now, if they wouldn't have won the war, we would have been hearing a whole different story. Because I'll tell you this. I was born in Cleveland, and I also lived in Birmingham. When I moved down there when I was in the 9th grade. And when I tell you there's two different sides to the Civil War being taught in this country, right? So here's the thing. It's all in who's telling you the story. It's all in who you're listening to at the time. So you have to realize that it's a perception of a perception that you're hearing nowadays. You have to go investigate deeper. You can't just be like, well, what? Because what you've been doing is picking and pulling what you wanted to about what we were all saying and try to argue the fact. But it's funny how three of us can come to the same conclusion and none of us have ever talked to each other after we did proper research. So maybe you should go do some proper research before you want to get on here and argue about facts. That's all I got to say about that.
Facts.
Because none of us have ever talked to each other. I literally just jumped on this live, 10 minutes ago.
Me too.
Exactly. And how do all of us come up with the same information? And I don't know. I'm in New Jersey right now. Where y'all at? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm in Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, how are all of us? And if you get on there and you find people all over the world, you will hear them that have done their proper research. They're coming up with the same facts across the board. How the hell is somebody like and for Charlie Kirk to say this one thing one day and then learn new information the next day, and then 2 days before he got killed is when they're denying him, and he was saying 30 days before to his wife he thinks that they're going to end up trying to kill him at some point. He already said it.
Yeah,
Bro,
look, I've heard all that.
Hey.
And I'm not putting it past Netanyahu or the Israeli government at all.
Once you do more research, you'll be like, man, it all starts coming together after a while. Once you listen to things like, why did John Lennon get assassinated? You know what I'm saying? Like, why are all these people in the music industry getting assassinated? Because they're the ones that are closest to these people making money.
That's right.
And that's when they find out. The politicians know that they don't actually have to continue to make music and tour endlessly, right? So they can continue to be on these payrolls without it really kind of getting to their system and their mentality of the whole thing, because they're just on free flow.
Why you think all our tax money go to these people? Why you think healthcare and we got to pay for their military and all? Why you think everything that we're doing? Why is this? Just start to ask yourself these questions. Why? You know what I'm saying? And
why is every president going pray to their wall, the west wall? You know what I mean? All
it's
of
not make. It's getting clearer and clearer, guys. One day, everybody gonna see, and you're gonna have to pick a side.
That's
Everybody gonna see, and you're gonna have to pick.
You know what side I'm gonna pick? I'm gonna pick the side of humanity, because really, what it's coming down to, they're putting cultures against cultures. But what we all kind of come to figure out, that being human to each other is more important, right? So you have to ask yourself, what is human? You know, like, because we say it's inhumane to do things, right? Well, what is it? What is actually humane? What is humane? Right? Is it compassion? Because animals have compassion for other species. You know, to me, the only thing that I can think of that we do differently than actual animals is that we actually document things. That's what we do. We document. We created religions from documentation. We created blueprints from documentation. We created games and entertainment from documentation. That's the only thing that we do differently that animals actually don't do, is we document things. And it's taking us years and years to actually put it all together, because every time somebody loses a war, we lose their history. Everything gets wiped out. So we got to. It's harder now for them to erase history, considering we have the internet. It's actually backfired in their face.
And my thing is this, like Christ, and somebody, like I said, they say Jesus, I say Yeshua. Like when he walked the earth, he walked with love. Because I say love fulfilled the law. He fed the people. He healed the people. He gave them wisdom. He gave them knowledge. It was all freely. You know what I'm saying? With love. Now these people over there, they bombing and killing all them people and just the babies, and that is not of the Most High. There is no love in that.
Everything literally starting drama with everybody.
Yeah, everything is going to go back to love, man. Love is the key. You know what I'm saying? Even when they crucified him, he said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Okay? So that's the love. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if you're a Baptist, Mormon, Pentecostal, Seventh-day Adventist, a Latter-day Saint, a Mormon, all that. If you don't got love, then you don't have anything. You know what I mean? All the religion and all this other stuff is just a divide. A kingdom that is divided against itself cannot stand. So if I think I'm right, I'm a Mormon, I'm a Muslim, I'm this, I'm that. A kingdom that's divided against itself cannot stand, because we all thinking this and that, but where is the love for one another? That is the key, love. And everybody it's killing me, because I can see the spider, I can see him, and I look at him every day. I'm like, how come the people are not waking up? How come the Europeans ain't waking up? How come the blacks ain't waking up? How come the Puerto Ricans? Nobody can see these people.
I'll tell you why. Because nobody wants to accept what they've been told their whole life is a lie and their life is fake. Nobody wants to accept that. That's the problem. Everybody that has a little bit of life built up into them, they're living this life or living that life, and they think they've created something and they're prosperous and things like that. They don't want to have to accept that it's all blood money. They don't want to accept that. They don't want to acknowledge the fact that everything that they've been told in their history is a lie.
Facts.
So what about all the powerful people, like billionaires who are also controlling shit, who might be Zionists but aren't Jewish or who are Christian?
You talking about Elon Musk, who's also
in on this whole thing
right now?
Well.
Elon Musk is right on the other side with Candace Owens over there. He is also saying the same thing about them. Billionaires, everybody has borrowed money from them. They are old money. It's the three people or the three entities that really control the world.